Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're checking out the free marketplace assets for the month of July. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so first up we have here the Dreamscape Nature Meadows. And basically it's this stylized map that you see here. We have this lake with an island, as well as these background mountains. Nice river spline. I can go ahead and play here for you guys. So yeah, this is the map. It's all stylized, of course, and this is running in Unreal Engine 5. And basically, you got this little pathway that runs to this wooden bridge here. And you can see we have water. All these trees, everything in here is stylized, obviously. And you can see we also have a waterfall over there. So yeah, here's a little island. You can see these flowers. Really like the grass in this one. But over here is a ruins kind of ruin. Reminds me of Valheim, like the lore and stuff in the game. But yeah, you got these mushrooms. Yeah, everything really looks nice with this stylized theme. But we got this lake here. See off in the distance we have these mountains, and let me give you guys a better look, overall view. And as you can see here, there's actually a landscape autumn material that it includes. So you can see here, this is the autumn material. We have dirt, grass on the top, as well as this rock on the side. Not half bad. And then you can actually see here, if I focus out, this is basically the landscape. The rest of these chunks here are actually mountains, and they did a really nice job at blending the terrain with the mountains. It actually looks like one big map. But yeah, and yeah, this is a playable area. We have this little island here, and then we have actually these pathways. So these pathways kind of wind around the map. You can see here, they go up this hill. Really nice job on this overall. And here is the little waterfall river. So the stylized water, you can see the water is crashing on the rocks. There's actually a little particle effect. And down here, this stylized waterfall. So this river is actually just a water plane spline. This isn't like the new water tools or anything like that. So just note that. Yeah, that's pretty much this map. Of course, you can follow the pathways that go kind of into the forest here. Okay, over here, here's the other pathway. And there's a couple different props here, like a cooking pot, barrel, things like that, campfire. And over here, follow the pathway up to the valley. That's pretty much a map. I can show you guys the demo. So here's all the different assets that it comes with. So we have our rune stones, our cooking pot, all of these stylized, a little sign. Then we have a camping bag, some sticks, looks like a little tent, some logs. Then we have this really nice pathway sign, so it points in different directions. And then with some barrels here, a bench, a campfire, and then various mushrooms. We have our grass. Then here in the back we can see all the different bush and stuff, and it's obviously animated. So you can see it move around in the wind. Really nice job. Okay, and then we have this little boardwalk bridge mesh, as well as these fences. Then we got this little particle effect for the waterfall. And yeah, and then here in the back we have the stylized stones. And I've got to say, these are really detailed for stylized. Like usually more detailed than normal. Like, I mean, if you even look at like this piece of wood here, there's a lot of sculpted detail baked into this little mesh here. Okay, so yeah, we got the little cliff rocks here. And then here in the back we have all the different stylized trees. So you can see with different colorations. Then we have the larger trees, larger oak trees, I guess. And it actually does come with this little rainbow. And then here in the back we have these distance meshes for the mountains. And yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff that comes with the pack. Overall, pretty nice job. I'm definitely going to use some of this stuff in one of my games, one of my stylized games. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next pack. Alright, so next up is this Easy Texture Creator. And basically what this is if I can load up, say, Grass 1. Basically what this is it's a built-in texture creator system for Unreal Engine. And actually Grass 2 is a better example. But as you can see here, we have this little grass texture. And basically what we can do is we can customize all these different variables within this system and bake out a texture for our game. So the way this works is first you need to go to Windows, and down here under the editor utility windows, you want to open up the main menu. And you're going to see here we have all the different options for customizing the texture. And then you also want to open up Window, Editor Utility Windows, Map Preview. So this is kind of like the material preview for your grass texture. So basically this has a bunch of different parameters that you can adjust. And if we do random seed, you can see you can also randomize the material. But basically what you need to know is you got your layers here, and you can adjust every single setting in every single layer. So what I mean by that is if I click on the grass here, you're going to see in the viewport, we actually have these little meshes. And what these meshes do is it actually bakes a gradient grayscale texture that is used for the grass here. And so you can actually take the points of this grass and move it around. You're going to see it update like so. So we can update that, and you're going to see it actually updates for the grass here like so. Okay, I'm going to undo this. And you also have, if I pull back my window here, you also have your texture size. So we can increase this to 4096 if we wanted 4K texture. And you could also increase, decrease the tiling. So you have a couple different options. And then of course, when you're all done with your material, you can click Save Textures. And what that is going to do is it's going to bake all the texture maps so that you can actually use this as a material in your game. So you can see here, it just finished baking that out. And down in my content browser, we have this final texture 4. We have the base map, a height map, metallic, normal, roughness. So this is a really nice way to create various materials. And if I go back into the maps, there's actually a bunch of different materials, presetted materials. So you see here we have ice, we have sand, and you can really easy put my window back here, randomize these, and customize these materials to whatever you want. So yeah, just a lot of different stuff here. You can add a lot of different variations, and when you're done, you can save your textures and bake it out. So another cool thing here is actually this coins. So you can see here we have different lettering on the coins, and we can actually change the lettering here. So on this coin test A, I'm just going to select that, uncheck random, change this to something like Bitcoin, and then we can see it update here, or in this window. You can see we change the text on there. We could do something like Smart Poly. And of course we go over to Final, save our textures. Then here we have our texture. We can go ahead and create a new material. Let's drag all of our textures in there. Hook up our base map. I think this height map, we can delete that. Hook up our metallic, normal, and roughness. So height map, obviously you could add some displacement or tessellation or whatever it's called to give it a 3D look. I think that's done away in Unreal Engine 5, but yeah, basically this is our material here with our customized little text on there. Of course, you can set it to whatever you want. But yeah, that's pretty much just the basics of this system. There's obviously a lot more settings that you can customize, and there are a lot of different materials here to source from and to create. And on the marketplace page, there is actually a lot of documentation. So if you click on included example, starter guide, docs, video, whatever, here's actually documentation, and pretty much you can click on any of the different materials that he made. So this railroad, click on the tutorial here, and it actually takes you to this YouTube video, which is a step-by-step guide on how to create that railway material from scratch using this entire system. So really robust system here to create any sort of texture that you need for your game and bake it out so you can create materials and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much the easy texture creator. Let's go ahead and move on to our next pack. All right, so next up is this custom shapes plugin, and basically what this is a spline based collision box or trigger box. So I'm going to show you what this little demo is. It's really nice that they included this demo. So we can walk around, the door opens, and there's actually sound playing. So you see there, we entered in that box. You see the text at the top, and we can run over here, and basically you're going to hear the sound kind of change as we enter in the collision box. So you can see it's kind of getting louder, and you can also see the little text thing that appeared. This is all happening through that little collision box. And if I get out of here, you can see these are basically the collision boxes that's driving the town names as well as the sounds that are playing. So like I said, normally you'd have, like, if you click create here, a box trigger and also a spear trigger, which you would use to create a little collision box that, say, the player would enter into the spear, then you'd play a sound. Or if they entered into this box or whatever, you'd show that little town name above their screen to show them what's going on. But basically what this system aims to do is to give you the flexibility of creating a collision box out of these points that you can move around and define in any shape that you want. So it's kind of a neat little thing here, and it works with really anything. I mean, it's basically just a trigger box, so you can pretty much add any functionality that you want to happen when that box gets overlapped by the character. It also supports like a processing volume, so if you wanted like an oddly shaped post-processing volume to apply maybe some sort of dirt on the camera or certain areas on like a ship to be darker, and you wanted to kind of adjust those spline points, you can definitely do that. But yeah, here is like the colorful tower volume also supports height. So you can see here everything is red. When I go up here, everything is blue. Basically this is through the post-processing volumes, and as you see here, everything is purple, pink. So like I said, you can pretty much kind of do this already through normal collision boxes, but I think maybe like the transition between that might be something that's somewhat different, but yeah, you can pretty much do the same thing if you were to create all classes post-process volume. Basically you're kind of limited to this box size, and what I'm guessing is that these custom spline points allow you to obviously adjust it to whatever shape and size that you want to give you more control over where you want your player to interact and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much the custom shape volumes let me know what you guys think about it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next pack. All right, next up we have this magic circle creator. And basically what this is a blueprint particle creator in Unreal Engine. So if I select on this particle here, you can see we have all these different settings here that we can tweak. If you expand all these windows, so you can change like this little inner circle, what texture you want it to be there, how much it rotates, basically a bunch of different presetted options. And you can create some pretty neat little effects here. So you can see we have a little portal, cube, this little spear, cylinder there, some sort of like galaxy map. Okay, we got like a little fire here. Yeah, so just a bunch of different effects and things that are going on. You can kind of stack these things together, and everything here is kind of like presetted. So like this thing's spinning around, stuff pulsing, that's all kind of the options that they give you. And this is not necessarily Niagara, like the visual effects. This is all kind of running through blueprints and materials. And I'll show you guys all the back end here in a second, but yeah, look at this one. This kind of looks like bits or something, you know, like binary or whatever. Or like, you know, when someone like is trying to hack in a movie, it's basically what it looks like. And then we got this little hologram. And this cool effect on the ground. Pyramid. Go homing. Location, beacon. Some swords there. Yeah, really nice effects here. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the blueprint. So if I right click, browse the assets, double click this. So this is pretty much the blueprint driving this thing. Everything here is running here on this construction script. Basically what that means is before the game even starts, it's processing all this information. So there's obviously a lot of stuff that's going on here. But yeah, basically this is all running on for each loops and on the construction script. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on here and a lot of information that's driving this. But basically this is this little blueprint. You see all the different variables that you can tweak here. Circle size, we can do like 70, 80. So it's a really simple system to kind of customize the particles and stuff like that. So it's really friendly for beginners. Like you can change the texture here to different circle if we wanted to. Basically, if I compile that, you can see it updated that a little bit in that blueprint. In fact, if I just drag that into the scene here, you'll see that update. But yeah, so it's a very nice modular blueprint particle system. So basically, this is my thoughts on it. For beginners, I think it's a really neat tool. Like if you just wanted to create some sort of particle effect and you don't really want to do too much work, you just want to tweak some values, switch out some textures, change the color, things like that. Now, I think the downside to this is the fact that, I mean, you got all this different logic, all these for each loops running on construction script. So for performance wise, if you're spawning this into your game, it's going to have a huge overhead draw on just spawning these items. So they're not necessarily, compared to Niagara, they're not necessarily very performant optimized. So if you want to make something like this in Niagara, it'd be, and then also might be one of the pros / cons of this, is making something like this in Niagara would be a whole lot of different emitters and particles and, you know, setting up all the materials, all that stuff. It'd be a long process. And so I think what this blueprint aims to do is to kind of allow beginners to create really advanced particles like this without having to dive too deep into, you know, materials, emitters, and creating, you know, Niagara systems, stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Not necessarily a Niagara replacement. However, it would be nice if they somehow, and this is probably not possible, but if there was a way to bake this blueprint into a Niagara system. I don't think that's possible or feasible at all, but yeah, that's pretty much the Magic Circle Creator. Just a modular blueprint system for creating different particles. Maybe you guys can figure out a really good use for it, but let's go ahead and move on to our next pack. Alright, so next up we have this Foliage plugin, and basically what it is if I go over here on a page, a system whereby you can take these instance foliage actors and create sort of like blueprint actors or interactable actors. So traditionally, you know, if you wanted to do like a tree that you can interact and chop down, like the blueprint functionality of that actor, you can't paint it as a foliage mesh. So if you were to try and drag like a blueprint into your foliage painting mode, it's not going to work. It only takes those different types. It's not going to allow you to do that. So basically this is a plugin that allows you to create interactable actors and paint them as foliage, which is really nice. So if I hit play here, I can show you guys what I mean here. What they've gone ahead and done is they've made this into a harvesting system. So I can press E. Basically, I've harvested this tree of resources, and then it falls down, it despawns. Same with this rock, spam E. And they have these streaming levels, and basically I can stream in, harvest these trees. And what it also does is it also can respawn the actors. And it also works for multiplayer. So you can see here, actually it takes 30 seconds if you're not nearby. And I can show you the multiplayer aspect. And again, you might be wondering, like, why is this useful? Well, if you ever run into the fact that you're trying to create rocks that the player can interact with, the built-in foliage painting tool does not support painting blueprint actors or any sort of interactable actor on a mesh. It only supports static meshes painting on the landscape. So hopefully that makes sense. But if I hit play here, we have 2 clients. I can go ahead and harvest this rock. You can see it flying in the air. Same with this tree. Harvest it, knock it over. It's also multiplayer replicated, all that good stuff. And this is actually the demo map, which to get this demo map, what you want to do is head over to the plugin website, scroll down here to the documentation, click on the link, and then go over here to the example project and download the example project. But yeah, the documentation also is really nicely detailed. I actually really like this guy that created this plugin. He has a bunch of different other plugins if you haven't checked it out, but he has pretty much every plugin you could think of. So any like AWS integration, he has like pretty much everything built in for like blueprints, Epic Online Services, Amazon Game Lift, so a lot of different plugins. But yeah, he has some really good documentation here that shows you kind of the process of building all this from scratch. So creating the foliage types and also the blueprint interaction, how to set all that stuff up. So if you wanted to create your own harvesting system integration and integrate that to some sort of inventory system, you could obviously do that by following his little documentation there. But yeah, I think this is definitely a useful plugin because like I said, there's no native way in Unreal Engine to support painting any sort of blueprint actor. Either you have to manually place each and every single actor that needs to be interactable, or you find some sort of third-party plugin like this that allows you to paint those as foliage, instance foliaged actors like so. But yeah, that pretty much concludes all of this month's free content. There is one more bonus pack I want to go over, which is permanently free, which is basically this ArcVis Explorer. Not really super game related, but basically this is permanently free on the marketplace, so you can download it, claim it whenever you want. It's not locked to this month. But basically what this is if I hit play here, I can show you what's going on. this little interactable, cool little interactable thing here where we can visualize this little map. And so if I hit home here, we can zoom in on this apartment building, which is the main focus. So this apartment building, we can click this unit search, and we have all these different widget UI elements to kind of show different things. So if I can click on like apartment units, I can see here, this is unit 422. See the price, all that good stuff. You can adjust your budget, and it will automatically show you which apartments are within that budget. And basically it'll show you, bathroom counts, all that good stuff. You can also click on this media gallery, and it gives you like a top-down view of the bedrooms, which I think is really cool. And of course videos, if you ever want to put in videos for that. Okay, back in the home here, we can zoom out and kind of get a top-down view of the map. If you actually go to the surroundings button here, it shows you all the different like buildings around the area. So say there's like a high school here, a fast food restaurant. So kind of cool different things here. This would be really interesting to see, if you're apartment hunting and looking for a place to stay. If there was like an interactable map like this where you could see all the different buildings in the area, kind of like Google Maps, but honestly much better. We also have gallery, which kind of shows us pictures, videos. But yeah, that's pretty much this system here. Yeah, click amenities, we have parking. So the camera obviously changes when we click different areas. It'll focus on different things. So we have public terrace, movie room. Be kind of cool if they showed us interiors, but yeah, like I said, this is permanently free. All the blueprint and all that stuff is in here. So if you want to check that stuff out, go ahead and go to the marketplace and claim this for free. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the different free for the month asset packs. I know there was a lot of different, more of a utility tools month, I guess, with the exception, of course, of the stylized stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this month. If you guys are going to use some of these tools or assets, what you might plan to use them for. Leave it down in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.